Welcome to TinyTales, where I share tiny tales from the Chaos Library. I was a student at UNLV in the 80s. I started my college career as a psychology student, mostly because I thought I was crazy and I was just trying to figure out what brand. At the time of this story, I'd switched to accounting, but I already had enough credits for a minor in psychology, if not a dual major. And I had a real thing for behavioral modification and Skinner because it was so useful with dog training, something I cared a lot about. When I took business management, I was actually looking forward to seeing how they applied psychology to business. Unfortunately, the teacher, an owner of a cardboard company, didn't have any training in how to teach, so he just read to us from the book, word for word, page by page, like we were the saddest, oldest group of kindergartners. One day he was reading to us about my favorite psych topic, behavioral mod, and he read the part about reward, punishment, and negative reinforcement. This cardboard king stops and says, actually, punishment and negative reinforcement are the same thing, so there are only two. I threw my hand in there and said, actually, you're wrong. He got huffy and said, oh, if you know so much, why don't you teach it then? So I did. I told about the timing of stimuli and behavior, the efficacy of reward over punishment, the aversive nature of stimuli, and why we call it negative reinforcement in the first place. And I gave examples. I don't even know if I could do it so well now, even after reading a lot more about it in the meantime. Finally, I wound down and he said, well, if you want to look at it that way, and went back to reading from the book. Since this is a real story, no one applauded, but they did follow me out to the hallway and gather around me, chattering about how they couldn't believe I had the nerve to do that and saying things like, I never understood it before, but now I get it. One guy did tell me that my examples weren't very good, but my thought was, well, you didn't speak up to correct me or him, did you? Shut up. I always wished I'd said to the teacher, I'm not the only one who looked at it that way. So did B.F. Skinner. But that's the kind of thought that comes to you later, long after it's too late. When I got back my results from his next test, I'd gotten a B. A B! The first I'd gotten in years. I compared my Scantron to others around me, and he had marked answers wrong for me that he had marked as correct for other people. So I looked up and marked the exact passages in the book where the answers matched my choices, because of course he used the publisher's test. Then after class, I went up to him and said, you've made a mistake on my test. I need you to fix it. He grumbled, but I showed him every answer and he had to give me the A I'd earned. The cardboard king really thought I was willing to throw my hand in the air in front of everyone, but I'd roll over when he mismarked my test? Anyway, you've reached the tail end. Look forward to another Tiny Tale soon, and don't forget to visit the Chaos Library.